Michael Dean, co-founder and head of AgFunder. Welcome to the evokeAG studio.
Thanks for having me.
At evokeAG, you have released a fairly major report. What is the main thing you're hoping people might take away from that?
So every year we release our what we call the Year in Review Investment Report, AgriFood Tech Investment Report. And it's basically a report that outlines exactly what's been invested in the previous 12 months, who's been investing, what they've invested in, how much has been invested. So this year we've seen a record level of investment, over $7 billion globally, in what we call Upstream food tech. The report proper will be out in about 2 weeks. So what I'm focusing on today has been the what we call Upstream, which is pretty much everything that is pre-consumer, but also includes what we call innovative food, which includes cellular agriculture and protein replacement products.
You look very broadly. What excites you?
I really like the cellular ag stuff. I think that's really interesting. There's still some problems with it around scaling and obviously getting the price down. These are alternative protein, meat replacement products that they grow from cells rather than slaughtering an animal. So I think that's very interesting technology. We've invested in a couple of microbiome companies that focus on the biome, whether that be environmental biome or whether it be in the soil. I think there's a lot of technology still to emerge out of that sector and a lot we can do around that. I'm really interested in individual nutrition and food as medicine. So we've invested in a company that uses a discovery platform to identify molecules that can have a positive impact on the body. So rather than developing synthetic molecules to fix a problem, fatty liver disease, for example, they can draw these molecules out of everyday products that are in the supply chain already.
Investment in anything is obviously you need a market there at the end of the day, but is agriculture also appealing because it's not a digitally mature sector?
It's certainly, it's getting there, but it's certainly not a digitally mature sector. There was a report released by McKinsey a couple of years ago called Digital America that identified agriculture as the equivalent of hunting as the least digitized industry. Now things have moved on quite a bit since then, but there's still so much to do. There's still so many problems right across the food system.
Sorry, just gathering my thoughts there. So AgFunder, you're a fairly significant investor yourself.
We've been around for a long time, we're well known, but we've only started investing in the last 12 months or so. So we launched our first fund in March. We've made 13 investments so far, and we closed our second fund at the end of December. So we're actively in the market, we're actively investing. I think probably we're best known for AgFunder News, which is our online news portal, which is basically the go-to location for everything around ag tech, food tech, and investment in the sector.
Well, one of the companies you have invested in is The Yield.
That's right. Yes.
What's the appeal? What rings a bell for you?
Well, The Yield's got a number of great facets to it. The first being Ros Harvey, the CEO. I was immediately impressed with Ros when I met her, and she's just a fantastic communicator, very well organised, and really it's the type of entrepreneur any investor would want to get behind. But not only that, the Yield is using a really intelligent methodology for fixing real problems for farmers, understanding the microclimate on their farm, understanding problems that they're going to be facing or problems that they may be facing. There's a whole range of issues that the Yield's technology is helping to fix, and that's a key component for an investor. You really want to invest in a painkiller, not a vitamin, and that's exactly what the Yield is, a painkiller.
There's a lot of tech on display here, but I'm getting the sense from you, the tech is the pathway to the solution, but seems to be a person that rings your bell to start with.
Yeah, no, the entrepreneur is of vital importance to us. It really is. If you haven't got the right team, it doesn't matter how good the technology is, it's really not going to fly. So we first look at obviously the technology has to be solving a problem, has to be a painkiller, as I said, but really it's a team that gets us to invest.
Just looking at Australia, we seem to do very well on the research side. We've got rural development corporations that foster innovation. But is that helping us get to commercialisation?
Yeah, there's sort of been a feeling that we've been undertaking research for research's sake rather than the commercial outcomes that may come from that and the improvements we can bring to our producers' lives. I think that's changing. I think certainly CSIRO with the new ON program, it's not so new now, but the ON program is doing a good job in trying to graduate from research into commercialisation. The Grain RDC announcement yesterday about the $50 million fund that they're applying to early stage agri-food tech is awesome. It's another great development in the whole ecosystem here. But more needs to be done. We still need more capital to come into the sector. We need more VCs participating in early stage agri-food tech. I'd like to see more of the super funds applying capital into this area. There's a lot of problems still to fix, and the more capital that comes into the sector, the more entrepreneurs will come into the sector. As we saw in Silicon Valley, it's self-perpetuating. So build it and they will come, and I'm a big believer in that.
Silicon Valley also had a long time curve, though, to get where it is now. People don't think it starts in '96, but
no, it goes back. Yeah, it goes back a long way. That's certainly true. But it's not so much the time. I think we've already moved very incredibly quickly. But those allocating that capital and making that capital available to solve these problems, I think is a really good start. And the Grains RDC have sort of taken the front foot with that, and I applaud that.
Australia has a very minimal amount of investment compared to other countries in R&D. So you see that as an opportunity then, in terms of attracting venture capital in and investors, super funds?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we do okay with with the amount of research and development that we're investing in. We certainly do a lot of research, and we do a lot of high quality research. It's just that last step into commercialisation and getting it out into the customer's hands, the farmer's hands, or into the consumer's hands is a problem. And I think we've started changing that. But yes, I totally agree. There's a lot of opportunity for improving what's happening at the moment.
Is a conference like this, Evoke, important for shining the spotlight on that and attracting potential investors, but also saying, hey, this is what we've got going on?
Yeah, sure is. I mean, you can feel the energy out there. People are excited about what we're doing. The food system is important to everybody. Everybody is interested in the food they eat. They're becoming more and more interested in where it comes from. The farmers are doing it tough. We've got, it's the hardest land on the planet to farm in Australia. So technology is really going to be a game changer for our farmers if we can get it into their hands. Develop it for what's here. If we don't have it here, bring it in. I don't mind where it comes from. It's about competitiveness of our farmers. So anything we can do to help them is going to be useful.
Well, all the best with that in the future. Michael Dean, co-founder and head of AgFunder, thank you for joining us in the evokeAG studio.
Cheers, thank you.